What up, YouTube? You can't stop trading and investing with your boy James E. Friday. Today I want to talk about my overnight play on AABB, how that winded up finishing. Noticing a slight turn in the market where I'm not really seeing too much. So didn't really do anything else after this morning. After I closed off my last trade. And then I'd seen a potential on LTNC for an overnight, but I just didn't take it. It didn't look like, something that was going to be strong enough to entice me. We're going to get into all that. But before I do, man, please click that like button. Please subscribe. It is very much appreciated. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy that likes to research and analyze anything I find interesting in the stock market. And I like to share that with anybody willing to listen. So, that being said, let's just get right into it. So AABB took an overnight play. If you watched my previous video, if you haven't, please go and do so. But we talked about AABB and how I kind of just, completely jumped the gun on it. Winded up buying in way too early before this huge dip. And then, it closed here at 2.9 and it did open at 2.94, which is almost about a half a cent profit. But as you can see, this candle, it just completely dropped off. Sold it immediately. 70,000 shares in this account. I was actually very lucky to get out with the 326 loss right here, $326 loss, because before the market opened, the ask said 29.4, but the bid said 27.5. So that was about a penny and a half under. So the amount of share, I had about 155,000 shares. So, the possibility, the overall possibility was that if it went down to the bid when the market opened, I was going to lose somewhere around, $2,500. And I winded up taking a $1,200 loss this morning. So I lost 326 in this account. This one I had 60,000 shares. This one took the biggest loss, executed me almost at the bottom. At 27.5 exactly. See at the bottom, 27.5. And so that kind of sucked. But yeah, man. So I lost 673 here. So that's about 1,000 between those two. And then this one right here had 25,000 shares, lost $200 on that. So overall, a $1,200 loss. On top of, my position, I had included it. As I talk about in my other videos, the way I like to track my performance, my progress is on a daily basis. So I like tracking my P&L on the day. So very similar. So, overall on AABB yesterday, I finished, I want to say with about an $1,800 total profit. But I was up 2,800. Towards the end, I lost about 1,000. So overall on this actual position, I lost about $2,200 on the actual position. But I do my P&Ls by the day. And since I gave up 1,000 yesterday when I was already up 2,800, that put me profitable 1,800 on AABB for that day. And then for today, winded up losing 1,200 on AABB for today. So that's how I like keeping track of my P&Ls. Everyone's kind of different. I noticed a lot of traders, they keep track on actual position. How much did I make on this position? But for me personally and psychologically, for me, I like doing my performance by day. And then especially in the OTC market, because there is no after hours or pre-market trading, once it closes, that's it. That's where it's at. It's not going to move after hours. It's not going to move pre-market. So, that's why when I'm trading OTCs, when I do an overnight on OTC, I count it as whatever it finished at the close. That's it for the day. And then it's a whole brand new day. And I like tracking my P&Ls by days instead of by positions. Because like I said, sometimes I might take I did an overnight play on AABB yesterday and made 2,800. And then, boom, lost 1,000 at the end. Two different positions, but overall 1,800 on the day for AABB. So that's kind of how I like tracking it. Instead of, calculating, today I made 2,800 here, boom, as a position, and then going in here, and then on this position lost 2,200. I like tracking it by the days, and that's just me. And then I noticed that there hasn't really been much strength. The market is kind of getting somewhat of a bounce. So, let's go right here. We are kind of getting a slight bounce in the market. As you can see right here, AITX, that's something that I've traded a lot. Had a good day right here, as you can see. Kind of closed strong. Potential gap up, first green day. But again, man, I just wasn't seeing no real strength. So right now, the probability for me, in what I'm trying to capture, I don't want to take the risk of, having possibly, because right now it's almost like a one-to-one risk that I'm seeing. Like, I could either make $1,000, which isn't even a lot for my position size. Excuse me. So, it might be like a 3 or 4% win, but I also might lose 3 or 4%. So, just that probability and the risk reward ratio right now, I'm not seeing those major, 10, 15% gap ups, 8% or higher gap ups that I was used to seeing in the previous months. Yeah, I did get lucky on AABB and had a gap up of 10% yesterday. And every now and then I'll get a good one, but I'm just not really seeing the strength. And I prefer to go with some high probability trades, some A++ setups. And I'm not necessarily seeing that in the market right now. So, I didn't trade anything. This would have been, again, another good first green day possibility right here. But again, man, this one didn't have enough volume. You always want to go and see how much volume's in the market. This didn't even trade 1 million shares. As you see right here in the volume bar, 754,000 shares. So, that's just not enough to entice me. That there's not enough buyers in the market to entice me. 700, and then just times that by 2.17. So, that's like $1.5 million in the market. That's not really a lot. And then, like all these were popping pretty good. See again, AMM. This one, I've never really had that good luck of buying the first green day on this particular one. We had this one and it gapped up slightly. But not even a penny gap up. So, that was like less than 10% there. And I think I tried capturing it here one day and it didn't work out as well. So, it's just nothing really too enticing. ILUS. This one was probably, I had this on my watch to potentially buy it if it broke the high right here of this day in the 12.6 area right here. But it just didn't break it, as you see right here. Stopped there, kind of started climbing back. Maybe potentially on Monday it will be a multi-day breakout. And, I might play it up until this level right here. That might be a possibility for a trade on Monday. We'll see. LTNC was the other one that I was really thinking about grabbing. But it had this huge pop and squeeze here, and to make it a nice solid green day. But again, I don't know how much, because it does have the volume I'm looking for, 157 million shares traded, but I just didn't know what the gap up would be like. So this one, maybe if it's a multi-day breakout, you might buy that again. Multi-day breakouts, I do like those, but it's not like my A++ setup. I do make good money on OTC multi-day breakouts, but it's not my main go-to setup. So I just didn't really trade nothing today, and normally I would do an overnight position, and LTNC was the only one that was enticing, but it just didn't drop enough for me to consider this a really good first green day. I would have liked to seen it drop, probably bounce off this in the fours, but it just never reached that low. So it's just uncertainty for me. I didn't want to play that. I didn't like the probability of it. Can we get a gap up? Most likely, with the first green day, it's a good possibility, but it's going to be in my mind, it's probably going to be like a 3 or 4% gap up. So, the probability of me making 3 or 4% and potentially losing 3 or 4%, it's not really worth me getting in that trade, especially when you look at the consistency of the market at the open. Boom, look at that complete drop off. That's just a straight sell. I want to see strength in the morning, and we just haven't been getting it. The previous day, same thing, boom, straight sell. So it's like when I look at that, again, look, another morning, straight sell. It gaps up, but drops off. So it's kind of harder to execute when we're getting just sell-offs in the morning, because it seems like more and more people are just playing these, overnight gap-up plays. because they're profitable and they work, and I've made a lot of money off of them. But this is it. When you start getting into bigger size, it's harder to execute your position. You know, when you're trying to get off 200,000 shares in the morning, and you got other people that you're competing with also trying to get off 200, 300, 400, a million shares all in the morning, and that's what causes a panic sell. So it's harder to get out. I actually got really lucky. I only took a $1,200 loss on AABB, and I was actually very happy with taking that $1,200 loss, because the potential could have been, you know, a $3,000 to $4,000 loss. And so I'm very glad that I just wound up getting out with a $1,200 loss. And so just overall, in the proper perspective of it, again, this is a long-term game. One trade of a $1,200 loss doesn't mean nothing to me. It's just one trade. It's part of the process. I'm going to lose. Overall on the week, this week, I made $5 grand on the week, you know, and to put that in perspective, for me, you know, someone who has really no education, ain't been in school since like the 9th grade, never fucking went to college, never cared about school, worked minimum wage jobs, worked at warehouses, worked for grocery stores, worked basically, my last job was getting paid $15 an hour. You know, so in my perspective, literally last year, it would have took me about 3 months, maybe a little bit longer than 3 months, to make $5 grand. And, you know, I'm consistently making that on a weekly basis, you know, and consistently making 5 figures a month. And I continue to grow and just understand the proper perspective that I could take a loss and it's no big deal. You know, and I did cross a great milestone for me personally. You know, I crossed the 50K mark. You know, in my total trading profits, which was a beautiful thing to see, man. You know, it's you know, in a short period of time, in just a matter of a few months, you know, it's a beautiful thing, just to understand the proper perspective of process, and knowing that, you know, this is just part of the game. Take a $1,200 loss, that's nothing. It's part of the game, you know, and just for me to understand that, and understand that, you know, the market has cycles. We slow down in periods. When the market gets hot again, I have a lot more capital now than I did 3 months ago to go and play those hot plays now. So instead of playing those hot plays with, you know, 5, 6 grand, making 1,000 off of that, you know, I'm now going to be able to play these with, you know, 50 to 60 grand, making 10 grand off of that, doing the same exact shit, because the market's hot and there's enough volatility and enough buyers in the market for me to continue to exponentially grow my account. So that's going to be it for today, guys. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my analysis. If you made it this far, please click that like button. Please subscribe. You Can't Stop Mafia is a mindset movement, meaning never stop yourself, never stop your progress, never stop your education, especially in finance. Having multiple streams of income is an amazing thing, and the stock market is a place where you can do that. So AABB took a hit on that today, $1,200 loss. Called it quits for the rest of the day. Didn't really see anything too enticing. A few plays the first green day, but again, the risk reward and the probability of it, I would rather just wait for the market to get hot again, or until I see something that's like, okay, yes, this is a great setup that I could capitalize on. So that's going to be it, man. Till next time, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated. I'm out. Peace.